Has anyone ever told you that you are paranoid? Well, maybe that's just something that people say from time to time without any meaning. But maybe, just maybe, there is a grain of truth in that. Are you courageous enough to find out? If yes, stay tuned. Hi, this is Bastian Antonowicz, and on my 5-minute psychology channel, I talk about psychology, hopefully in such a way which could be useful for you. Today, let's talk about paranoia. I think everyone has heard at least once in their lifetime, most probably from their friends, that they are paranoid. It's when we behave in such a way as if we are searching for some ulterior motives behind some behaviors. So let's find out what are the most typical symptoms of paranoia. One of the most visible symptoms of paranoia is when we get defensive and even hostile whenever a person is talking about us, describing our behavior, the way we look, what we do. We almost immediately start thinking that we are under attack and that we need to either fight back or defend ourselves. Like, for example, when you are taking someone for a hiking trip and the person, instead of wearing proper shoes, takes their flip-flops, and you say, hey, you know what, I think next time when we go hiking, it's better to take hiking shoes rather than flip-flops. It will be much more comfortable and safer for you. And if the reaction you hear is, it's not my fault that I'm wearing flip-flops because my hiking shoes, they're gone, I can't find them. It's probably someone else's fault. I think my mom washed them and put them somewhere. And besides, why are you attacking me? Okay, right? So this is a first sign that something is really, really wrong. The next sign that we may be dealing with a paranoia is when a person is easily offended. For example, if you bake a cake for someone and the person tastes it and says, it's damn sweet. You can react in many possible ways. You can say, oh yeah, it is indeed. Or you can say, what do you mean it's sweet? It's very sweet. It's a cake. It's supposed to be sweet. What were you expecting, that it will be salty? In such a way, we can show that we are not really okay with anyone criticizing us. And criticism, this is a part of our everyday life. Or do we like it? Probably not, but it's not necessarily a reason for us to behave in such a way. And plus, whenever someone is even criticizing the cake we've baked, it does not mean that this is a criticism about ourselves. It's about this particular product of our hands and not us as a person. There is no need to feel offended. Another symptom of paranoia is one of my favorite ones, is when you believe that you're always right. And we all very often have this feeling that our choices are somehow better than someone else's, and that's pretty much okay. But whenever you see that whatever different opinion someone has, that you feel deep inside that absolutely every opinion or almost every opinion of yours is better, now then we can be dealing with paranoia. It's always a good idea to analyze what's good in someone else's opinion, and perhaps you will find something for you there. If you want to diagnose yourself, think back in how many situations you are able to get convinced by someone else that your vision of something is perhaps not the best one, and actually change your opinion and accept someone else's opinion. So we've mentioned already accepting criticism, and what comes with it is the ability to compromise. Very often in life, no one is an absolute winner, and no one is an absolute loser. Very often we meet somewhere in between, and it's very often necessary to be able to find this spot. Perhaps I'm not going exactly what I want, perhaps you are not going to get what you need, but both of us, we can be at least partially winners. If you are never able to reach such consensus, or almost never, that could be a sign of paranoia. Another symptom of paranoia is the lack of trust, when you are never able to confide in another person. You can easily recognize that in people who are for a long time unable to build lasting and valuable relationship, when deep down in your mind you have this feeling that someone will probably cheat on you, that they will not be honest with you, that they will use you. Now that could be a very serious symptom of paranoia. If you always think, or very often think, that others, people around you, have some ulterior motives, think again, because at least I hope that the world is not made up of all such evil people around us. Let's learn to trust each other. Another symptom is when you read some hidden meanings in someone else's behaviors. For instance, you go shopping and you suddenly have this impression that everyone is looking at you. Maybe there is something wrong about you. Probably they're thinking something bad about you. Maybe they think you look too fat. Maybe they think you have a booger on your face. You never know. You never know what's going on in them. Or when you see two people having a quiet chit-chat, if you have an impression that they are probably talking about you, well, think again, because maybe, just maybe, there is a different topic of their conversation. And before you hear anything what they say, it's really difficult to judge if they are talking about you or someone else. And exactly the same happens when a person very often feels that someone is using sarcasm against them. So how do I look? Okay, you look great. What do you mean great? Right? So this is a situation like this. When you are being paid a compliment and you search for some hidden meaning behind it. Just like when you watch a video devoted to psychology. If you come here to get some knowledge out of it, that's great. But if you watch it and, for instance, you have a sudden impression that I want to manipulate you for some reason, well, that could be a great example of a symptom of a paranoia. Now, this video is not meant to diagnose you or anyone else for that matter. It's just for informative purposes. If you are in doubt about your mental health, it's always a good idea to address it to a professional directly. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if it was the first time you've heard about some symptoms of paranoia, and I'll see you next time.